Okay, let's be honest. How many times a day do you find yourself saying, I think? We all do it, right? But what if I told you there's a whole world of phrases out there that are just better? We're about to go on a mission to upgrade that one little phrase. And trust me, by the end, you're going to sound more confident, more persuasive, and way more interesting. Let's do this.
And look, here's why this actually matters. In a work meeting, always saying I think can make you sound a little unsure. In an argument, it kind of weakens your point. And, just in daily conversation, it gets boring pretty fast. But the good news? This is such an easy thing to fix, and we are going to have a really good time doing it.
So, how are we going to make all this stick? Well, we are not just going to stare at a list of words. Oh no, we're going on a vocabulary quest. And to make sure we remember everything, we're going to follow the truly wild, chaotic story of a wedding crasher. I promise you, after this, you will not forget these phrases. All right, so picture this. Our story starts with someone who is, let's just say, really not happy about being left off the guest list for their ex's wedding. So unhappy, in fact, that they decided to, well, just show up anyway. Let's hear their version of events. So our uninvited guest, trying to make this whole thing sound perfectly reasonable, kicks things off with our first phrase, in my view. This is a great alternative. It's a bit more formal than I think, and it's perfect for when you want to share an opinion that you've actually thought about. And there you have it. See? Sounds totally logical, from their side of things anyway. They use in my view to frame this absolutely wild decision as something completely fair. Oh, the drama is just getting started. Okay, so they've made it through the door. Now what? Let's check out the next phrase they pull out. As far as I'm concerned. This one is also a little bit formal, but it's strong. It's a way of saying, this is my firm belief, and honestly, I don't really care what anyone else thinks. So the bride sees her ex standing there, uninvited, at her wedding, and she starts to cry. I mean, pretty normal reaction, right? Well, not according to our hero here. As far as I'm concerned, the bride is the one being dramatic. This phrase just shows that total, unshakable self-confidence. Let's move on to our next one. It seems to me that I really like this phrase. It's a wonderful, kind of neutral way to give your opinion, but as if it's an observation. It feels a bit softer, like you've looked at the situation and this is your conclusion. And what a situation to observe. Our guest has now somehow made their way from the back of the ceremony to the reception, and they've tried to grab a seat at the most important table in the whole room. For those of you who might not be familiar with this, yeah, the top table is the VIP section. It's for the couple, their parents, the maid of honor, the best man. It is not a find any empty seat kind of situation. It's a huge mistake. But to our guest, it just seemed like everyone else was the problem.
You thought trying to sit at the top table was bad? Oh my goodness, we are just getting warmed up. The chaos is about to get so much worse.
Okay, here's a super useful, super versatile phrase. From my point of view, you can use this one almost anywhere, whether you're in a formal meeting or just chatting with friends. It's a really clear way to signal that you're about to share your unique take on things. And what a point of view it is. The happy couple is having their special first dance, and our guest decides it's cringeworthy. So what do? They do everyone a favor by jumping on the dance floor with them, as a public service. Now, for a really fantastic, informal one, I reckon. This is so common, especially in British English, and it's just a great casual way to say I think. It gives everything a really friendly, conversational vibe, as our guest is about to show us. Ah, and now we get to the heart of the matter. Our guest reckons they've figured out the turning point. And that little idiom tipped me over the edge. That's a great one to know. It basically means something pushed you into a state of chaos or anger. Let's just pause on that number. 6. Not 1, not 2, 6 gin and tonics. I mean, that one number tells you everything you need to know about where the rest of the story is going. This next phrase is just brilliant. Honestly speaking, you use this when you're about to admit something, maybe a little reluctantly. It's like you're saying, okay, let's be real for a second. And there it is, the grand confession. After all that, our guest's moment of honest reflection is that they probably shouldn't have weaponized the wedding cake. They started a food fight aimed at the bride. Our little vocabulary quest has taken us to a very dark, very sticky place. And just like that, our completely chaotic story comes to an end. But through all that madness, you have successfully completed your quest. You have gathered a whole treasure chest of new phrases. So let's just look at the final piece of our puzzle. Our very last phrase from the story is, personally speaking. This is such a solid, neutral choice. It's a super clear and simple way to frame your opinion as your own, and it works pretty much anywhere. And here it is, the final, absolutely jaw-dropping opinion from our wedding crasher. Personally speaking, having the police called was a bit OTT. OTT, by the way, stands for over the top. You know, excessive. The complete lack of self-awareness is just stunning, isn't it? But what a memorable way to end our story. So the real power here is knowing when to use which phrase. It's all about context. So here's a really simple way to think about it. For a quick text to a friend, something informal like I reckon is perfect. For a professional email, you'll want to grab a formal option like in my view. And for pretty much all of your everyday conversations, those neutral phrases are going to be your new best friends. And that is the whole point of this entire quest. When you move beyond just I think, you don't just sound more advanced. It actually makes your opinions sound more persuasive. It shows you have a real command of the language. And as we just saw, it helps you tell much, much better stories. So, what's the big takeaway from our wedding adventure? You now have a whole arsenal of new phrases to express exactly what you mean. The only question left is, personally speaking, which one are you going to use first? The next time you're about to say I think, just pause and unleash one of your new vocabulary superpowers instead.